So just to fill you in, guys, I have recreated the character. Fagnaragk was no more, but he is now back in action in a slightly more improved version where I've actually spent a little bit more time making him look fairly decent. So we can continue the Let's Play pretty much more or less from where we left off. I'm just going to load save back up again. And yeah, we can continue, assuming that Fraps doesn't crash the game again, because as I've pointed out countless times, the game's still in alpha. And speaking of that, actually, obviously you can probably tell that situations like that will be easier to avoid, I imagine, once the full game's complete, because obviously there are no tutorials or anything yet, unless that's the actual design theory of the game. Maybe there isn't supposed to be tutorials and you are supposed to figure stuff out like that for yourself, but we'll wait and see. I mean, it can't be fun having permadeath on your beloved characters if you weren't informed about it. But we weren't far into the game, and at least now both of us know that for next time you can't revive yourself once you're incapacitated. So I'm gonna have to be much more wary of that in the future. But it's pretty cool in the way. I mean, it does highlight the unpredictable nature of the game, and in essence that's one of its most attractive and appealing qualities. So I can't actually hate the game for that. If anything, it kind of makes me love it more in its own quirky way. Not only that as well, I mean, little features like that, little idiosyncrasies and little differences that you wouldn't expect in the game, I think just adds to it really. That might just be my own opinion, but to me it enhances the sense of discovery that you get. Similar to Dark Souls again, I don't really want to continue with the comparison too much, but you know, if you don't try these things you don't know. And there we go, so I'm going to talk to an NPC here called Mr. Floppy now. Actually, let's double check before I do that. Right, okay, so I've on this version of the character, just to clarify, we are going to be starting the Let's Play pretty much from here on out. Just treat the videos up to this point as a sort of description of the game itself. So yeah, anyway, without further ado, I've started in a different starting town to any that I've previously encountered. So this is going to probably turn out to be quite a lot better actually, because pretty much everything from this point is going to all be totally new to me, just as it is to you. So yeah, this is going to be cool. So anyway, back to the conversation with Mr. Floppy. Hey, it's Mr. Floppy. What can I do for you? Well, for those of you who are unaware, Mr. Floppy is basically a random guy, nondescript guy at the moment, who runs a series of B&Bs basically in the Kenshi universe, and this is pretty much where you come to. Essentially the equivalent of the Elder Scrolls Oblivion or Skyrim's inns, where you can come in, pay fairly unreasonable amount of katans, to be honest, and sleep in beds to heal yourself. But I don't need to do that now, because I've got a brand new fresh faced character who's not going to be wearing his hat, just for the sake of convenience. And okay, so we've got grey hair now, and that probably suits the retired war veteran sort of character aspect that I had before. So yeah, this is a much more cohesive character in my opinion. I've picked all of the same character settings, same as before, so I'm the same character, so we should still be following the same sort of path as before. The only difference is he just looks a bit better, and we're in a different starting location. So okay, so here we go. Right, so let's have a look at the surroundings then. So this seems to be a settlement, nice little minuscule settlement on the edge of a cliff face here. It's quite difficult actually for me to read the writing on the map there. I can't really read exactly what this town's called, but we'll just call it Floppy Town for now. So first things first, same as before, not really any equipment. So it's probably going to be time to venture out into the world, because from what I know so far, at this point in the game's development, the majority of these settlements in game all pretty much feature the same thing. So if you go into a bar or you go into a quest giving area, go into a shop in one settlement, you've pretty much gone into all of them. They're basically just scattered around for convenience in different locations. None of them really have anything much that separates them at the moment. I'm imagining that'll be different later. Although this is new actually, saying that. UC Hat Trader looking to trade, so yeah, so it looks like we've got a hat shop here. So obviously being a retired war veteran, penniless, I have no money, But I will sell the tricorn hat once again, so I do have 34 katans again, and that's not going to be enough to pretty much buy me anything at all, because as I may have explained already, pretty much anything in this game costs quite a extreme amount of money, enhancing the game's difficulty and realism. So I'm not going to bother with any of that. I'm going to go wide into the open world again, same as before. Now if you notice here, it's kind of a bit of a domino doppelganger effect there with some of these characters all wearing tricorn hats, all various different heights. But yeah, all of these guys, if you don't know, they're all basically all either mercenaries, or they're probably more likely town guards as well. And in a future update that's going to be coming real soon, some of the factions I told you about before, they all dynamically interact with each other over the long course of your game, and obviously they're going to end up fighting each other, getting into diplomacy, getting into war with each other, and that can inevitably lead to some of them encountering settlements such as this, trying to invade them, kidnap NPCs. And from what I have read about update notes for the forthcoming update, for whenever that the kidnapping feature is released, that can happen to any character at any time, including you, possibly, I imagine. So that's just another one of the many aspects of this game that make it so enthralling and just different from all other games out there at the moment. Sense of utter sheer unpredictability about it. Obviously the games like Skyrim have come in leaps and bounds in recent terms in terms of unpredictability and non-linear gameplay. But you know, aside from the randomly generated quests, which to be honest, let's be honest, we're all pretty samey. There aren't really any games out there that I know of specifically that have anything this dynamic about them. I mean, pretty much any variable in the game, aside from the world map and the in fact not even the prices of items, everything's pretty much generated on a per game basis. So it truly is one of these games where you get a different experience every time you play, and that's only going to be improved the more the games improve with all the different starting scenarios and what have you. So anyway, I'm going to go onto this third person camera here, give you a nice little different perspective from the game. Hopefully this is going to be a little more interesting than the last couple of playthroughs. So control wise, right click to move your character onto any point in the map that is visible on the screen. Combat wise, you probably already had a few glimpses of it before, but yeah, I'd say for me, shades of Dragon Age, hints of RuneScape. Actually, thinking about it, I in some ways hesitate to draw the comparison to RuneScape because in recent years it's become a bit tame and a bit, well, shit, to be quite honest with you. But yeah, in terms of these sort of back and forth, almost a bit of a blend of real-time and turn-based combat in this game. One moment, it's just loading there a moment, and actually that's probably quite a good cue for me to save my game because I don't want any random crash outs again like we've had before in the past with fraps. So yeah, just going to take a minute to admire the view. Now, if you were the one playing this game, you probably get to a similar point as me where you kind of think, right, so I've started the game afresh, got my new character, I've got nothing beyond whatever's on my back, and I've got this huge open wide map to explore. So first things first, time to get my bearings. I'm probably going in the wrong direction at the moment, so I'm going to make my way over to this way. Let's double check. Now it's probably going to be quite a bad decision actually to move all that direction, but I'm going to do it anyway because, as I said before, this game thrives on discovery and unpredictability. So let's just see where the road takes us. So yeah, so let's carry on, pick a path, choose a direction, and just carry on walking. So yeah, my little guy Faggy there, now sporting his awesome silver ponytail, walking into the open desert. And gonna speed the game up a little bit just for the sake of your own convenience. Yeah, I think that's pretty much a lot of stuff covered at the moment. So let's just gonna give you a moment to watch this quite comical speeded up running animation, and we've just come to an abrupt stop. Oh, let's have a look here actually. What are these? Now these look like some little plant life, I'm guessing. I may not have already mentioned this already, but there is a crafting system in game. I'm not sure exactly how much of it is put in place right at the moment. Or because I do believe that in the full version of the game, this is definitely, but I'm wondering about this build at the moment actually, whether it's possible to harvest items. I don't think it currently is, but don't quote me on this, but I think probably in the full game, these look possibly like cotton plants or something like that maybe. So I know you can make leather and other building materials. You can make all your own armors and stuff in this game, sell them off, especially if you're a trader. That's probably quite a good option. So I'm going to guess in the future in the game, look out for stuff like that, because it could be quite a good way of increasing your inventory. If there's harvestable items, it might be a desert, but there's probably still quite a lot out there. And this is really lush landscape actually. I'm going to have a look over here. Bit of an animal skeleton. So believe it or not, the landscape actually isn't procedurally or randomly generated. This is all created by the Lo-Fi Games development team, and they're doing a pretty good job on it, if I do say so myself. I did mention before that the game has been developed by only one person. I still don't know his name yet, and I do actually know that at the time of writing there are several more people working on the game now as well. So, but even so, the actual games development team is still pretty small. There's probably only, I imagine, less than 10 people working on the game in a sort of indie hobbyist capacity. So, like I say, help them out with anything you can, because I for one want to see this game fulfilled and completed. I'm sure you guys do as well. That is assuming that we actually get further than I have so far. But in some ways, again, that's the beauty of the game. You know, there's no set path that you need to follow, much like Mountain Blade. And this is one of those games where any challenges you come across are ones that you set for yourself. I'm just going to pause the game. You know, if you don't have much of an imagination or much patience, you're not going to get a lot out of this game. Hate to break it to you, I'm sorry to say that, but it's the truth. But if you're somebody who can just be amused just from just riding the wave and seeing where life takes you, then this allows you to get a bit of a fantastical post-apocalyptic take on that. So yeah, quite an interesting game. Okay, so the game's just loading there. Pause momentarily. So there's quite a large group of bandits there. They look hostile, so I don't want to repeat previous mistakes and charge straight into them with no armor or anything. And they're actually coming straight for me now. So yeah, I'm going to try and prevent a repeat of before and just run for my life. It looks as though they're probably actually a little faster than me as well, so we're going to see how this happens. Cue all the dramatic movie chase music. They are actually gaining on me quite quickly now actually, so I expect another load very soon. So if nothing else, I think this footage is giving you quite a feel for the game, feel for what your possible experiences in the game may be like. You know, I'm not going to lie to you, this game is difficult, it is challenging, especially if you're not used to games of this nature. I mean, to be honest, I'm not either, really. As I said before, I've played quite a few RPGs, but this game is unique in the sense that it's equal parts RPG and RTS, and simulation as well, so obviously things like this are going to be in the game to test you. None of it's scripted, it's all randomly generated and procedurally generated on the fly. That's in terms of the actual gameplay itself and not the map, as I was mentioning before. What a beautiful sunset there. Time to just run into the open sunset, surrounded by a band of tribal bastards walking into muddy texture land. Ah, please don't kill me. And that's quite a large group of enemies actually. Just gonna pause the game, check my map, see if I'm not running into absolutely nowhere. Yes, I am. Gonna see if I can somehow just hope and just plead that I can make my way over to the safe settlement there before these guys cave my skull in. Now let's have a look over there. Now I can see in the distance that could be a rock, it could be some other form of scenery, but it looks like something interesting over that way. Just another quick pause. Map check. Still going in the wrong direction really. I need to find which direction that settlement is in actually, because that could make the difference between life and death here. Ah, yes, so yes, we're going in the right direction now, so all is well. As long as I can keep this pace up. And quite a good tactic for you actually, I've noticed up to now, is that if anything like this does happen to you, or even if there's just random battles that occur out in the open, fairly near to the settlement that you happen to be camped in at the time, just see if you can lure these guys towards the town guards actually, because they are extremely powerful and they'll usually have your back. They're usually quite good at guarding you and guarding their beloved city, so it can actually be quite a cheeky way of allowing them to aid your progress in the game, because nobody said it was an easy game. You're going to need all of the advantages you can get, so if that means relying on some of the AI help to help you with some of their more powerful items and skills, then so be it. If it gets rid of a threat for you, then that's good news for you. Okay, so gonna see if I can outrun these bandits. Gonna run towards these trees because that's a bit more of a landscape rather than just plain flatness. So yeah, as you can gather, this point of the map, not the most picturesque or scenic, but with a game world as big as this, I don't have a specific size or number for the actual game world itself, but I believe it's got to be over 50 square kilometres, so substantially large, quite enough to be getting on with for the time being. And yeah, this is going to be happening for quite some time, so I'm going to speed this up. Give you a moment to enjoy the soundtrack and sound effects here. Short note on that actually, the sounds in this game are actually only very recent additions to the game. They were added in a recent patch. I'm going in the wrong direction again. So that's just even more proof, should you need it, that this game is still being worked on quite often. I'm still going in the wrong direction. Which way am I going here? One moment. So let's see what's going on then. I'm going to try and make my way towards any settlement now at this point, because I just really need to stop running for dear life across the entirety of the desert. I'm still going in the wrong direction. Okay, so I'm going to make an about turn. Bit of a Wesker evasive manoeuvre even. Yeah, we're still going in the wrong direction here, so okay. Let's see what happens here. I'm going to try and zigzag out of the way and use the environment to my advantage just while the game's loading. There's a few more bandits on the horizon there. You always have to have an eye out and watch for threats at every corner in this game, because that's just the nature of the beast. I mean, let's be honest, if this was an RPG, if this was real life, you would run for your life like this. There's no other way around it. There's no getting out of it. I'm going to go this way actually, even despite the other bandits, because this looks like the only way of getting around. And yeah, it's true, this is a desert. Beyond the map, there are no signposts. There's very few settlements, so it is very easy to get lost, as I'm quite capably demonstrating here. They are also hostile as well, so it looks as though there's somebody being chased by somebody else, so that's quite possibly two other factions fighting each other. These guys actually, double check, yeah, these are the Hungry Bandits. So these aren't part of any particular faction as far as I know. I think they're basically just other survivors, just like me, but probably a little more barbaric. These guys, on the other hand, let's have a look actually. Quite an interesting aspect. I'll go over and have a look. See if I can zoom in quite far. See what these guys are like. Right, so these guys are sand ninjas. They're actually both sand ninjas, so it looks as though they're probably part of the same party. So sand ninjas. I'm gonna use a quite risky tactical edge actually here. I'm going to save my game. I'm going to be a bit of a tactician here and possibly try and counteract the effects of the lobby that's chasing me at the moment, and maybe see if I can get the sand ninjas to help me out a little, because I don't think these guys are going to be on good terms with each other. So even if we have some sort of Mexican standoff happening, yep, my plan's worked. If I diverted some of the attention, it may even be worth me actually hanging around, possibly encircling around them to see if there's any loot I can pick up from any of the other guys who inevitably get picked off in the struggle. But I think for now I've still got a couple of people chasing me, and I don't really want to be suffering a permadeath again, so let's double check actually. Yeah, I've still got 4 guys on me, so I think I'm still going to be running away here for the time being. But at least if anything bad happens, I don't have as many people to deal with there, so that's a good outcome. Speed up once again. Okay, double click my character portrait. If you double click, you can That's the method that you can use to go into the third person chasey cam. Just going to keep right clicking on the landscape here so I can keep making an escape. No, I don't want to attack. That's definitely not what I want to be doing. Oh dear. Okay, so let's pause. Right, so we've got a Sand Ninja Jounin. So this guy seems like he could be a advanced version of some of the standard Common and Garden Sand Ninjas. So yeah, this guy looks like he's got pretty decent equipment, to be quite honest with you. He's quite an interesting looking character. Not to be messed with. Definitely not to be messed with. And let's double check. Yeah, he's also coming straight for me as well, which is not good. So I think I'm going to try my same tactics as before. Try and see if I can run away. So yeah, so this is the way the game's played basically. Pause the game, consider all of your options, and make the best move that you think is possible at the time. So once again, I'm going to save. I'm sure I'll be saving and doing this a lot less once we've both gone through the game a little more and I'm a bit more comfortable with the way it works. So yeah, this Sand Ninja Ruin guy's distracting a little more attention off me. He is quite powerful, so I'm going to circle around for a little while just to see what happens, because I could do with a little more armour and a little better weapons here. Get rid of these guys. So these guys are okay, so I'm just going to take this one guy on for now to give you something a little more interesting. And okay, no, so I'm actually going to run away because he's going towards me now to chase back off again. I'm going to see actually if I can tear him away from the pack, because as in nature the best approach is always to take one away from the flock, pick him off individually. Not really happening because that guy's got his back, which is quite annoying. So yeah, I'm just going to run away for a little while, see if I can use some cheap cowardly tactics to get the edge. But again, anything that gives you the edge, always a bonus in this game. Right. Just going to run rings around them for a little while. Don't really want to be attacking them, so I don't know why he keeps auto-attacking. That's a little good point actually. I'm trying to figure out why I died on my previous save actually, because I'm not sure if you guys remember, but I didn't actually click on any characters there to initiate combat. It seems like my character pretty much just did that of his own accord, even despite the chase function being turned off. So what I'm guessing then is that your characters, not only will your character initiate self-defense if need be, but it'll also, looks like he'll also do that if he's within a certain range of a hostile as well. So if that's the case, I'm going to have to bear that in mind in future. Now there's a couple of these sand bandits who have been killed now by the so a couple of the hungry bandits rather that have been killed by the Sand Ninja. Now a little point here actually, I'm going to check on my my factions tab, stats, no sorry, tech, click on the faction tab, and I'm going to check through the factions here now. From my understanding, as of now, the meters on the left side show negative karma with certain factions, and right is positive. So obviously I haven't done anything to provoke any positive outcomes at the moment. But starving bandits, hungry bandits, I'm assuming they're the same thing. So yeah, that's a given. They hate me. Probably explains why they're chasing me to Kingdom Come. Dust bandits don't like me. Cannibals and sand ninjas. Now that's interesting because the starving bandits and the sand ninjas, excuse me, both have quite substantial hatred towards me for one reason or another. Possibly due to the fact that my character's backstory means I was part of the Holy Empire before. But also, from what I can see, it also seems like the Sand Ninjas and the Starving Bandits are fighting each other as well, as we can quite plainly see there. So that just goes to show that the factions are actually implemented, and the diplomacy is, even in the most basic way at the moment, is actually implemented. So that provides the game with something quite interesting. Now I'm going to take the opportunity here. 3 of those guys are now down. Those 2 are engaging in a little bit of a one-on-one there, a bit of a melee. So I'm going to take this opportunity to do some quick looting and get me some items, because I'm really going to need that if I'm due to survive. Okay, so there's a saber class club here on this hungry bandit carcass. I'm going to equip this as a secondary weapon. Just drag and drop it into my inventory. So I'm now dual wielding then, if I believe so anyway. So I'm going to be dual wielding if the the outcome happens that I actually am going to be engaged in combat. That's a last ditch, last case scenario at the moment. Worst case scenario, I don't really want to be engaging in combat for obvious reasons, but if it does happen, I've got an extra weapon to accompany me now, so that's something that's not so bad. And that guy's in pretty bad state of repair at the moment, so I'm just going to double check. Yeah, I've pretty much got everything off him. So the other guys are there. Looty, looty, loot. More pants, more weapon. Well, you know, it's not immediately useful for me at the moment, but another point to bear in mind during this game is that this is a survival-based game, post-apocalyptic. You already are now well aware, I'm sure, of the difficulty as well, so any advantages you can get, whether it be looting, other characters, party members, tactical advantages, you need to take them. So I'm going to do just that. I'm going to take these items and sell them on at a later date to give me some more money and hopefully fund some character upgrades or weapons in future. There we go. Now if you look at the inventory screen, actually, probably just a little brief note here, probably self-explanatory, but it's based on a tiled version of the inventory. So if you ever played a game like Resident Evil 4, that sort of inventory or something like that, where you have to arrange them yourself, or you can actually also arrange with a new button there, recently been added. But yeah, if you don't have the physical space in your inventory to carry an item, you can't actually equip it with you. So not only is weight accounted for, but actual inventory space is taken into account for carrying items and looting as well. The total weight, I believe at the moment, is mainly useful just for determining how fast your character moves. So if you ever come at the stage I was in a moment ago where you're being chased, the last ditch attempt at a solution to that could always be just to jettison some of your inventory. I know it's probably not the most ideal of solutions, bearing in mind what I just told you, but if needs must, the devil drives. So yeah, anyway, back to the game. I've looted those guys. Unfortunately, no lovely weapons there for me, so I'm going to probably make a break for it in a moment. I'm going to see how this turns out. Now, I do not want to be fighting you, so that's my cue to run away. I'm going to save the game. Okay guys, so hopefully you're enjoying this video. I'm not sure how far through we are at the moment. I'm assuming it's quite far through. I'm just basically going to play now until I get bored. Possibly split this video into multiple segments. Hopefully it's been interesting so far. I haven't rambled too much, and hopefully you're getting not too bored of the constant barrage of brown and yellow from this game. Just running through empty deserts at the moment. But you know, it's one of those games, unpredictable. So you know, it's not something I can sort of plan. Show you some awesome set pieces and look at this game. This is going to be an awesome let's play. It's more of a fact of this game generates stuff for you, different every time you play. Let's see what it generates for us. Let's see what happens. So yeah, I'm liking this. So weapon, yeah, I'm not going to pick any of that up because this guy. Hello, that's quite odd. Yeah, I'm not going to be wasting any more time on that because this guy's got a bit of a death wish towards me. I'm still nowhere near civilization, so that's going to be my priority for now. Let's run away. So I don't really fancy being cleaved in two by this guy, so at least I've only got one guy following me now. I'm not sure if that's actually a bonus to what it was before because he's quite a powerful enemy. And I'm not sure if the running animation has changed here, or if that signifies that both of our characters are getting tired. I'm not sure if that actually plays a part in the game yet, and if that's true, then it might have been a wise idea for me to nip to the merchant and buy stock up on some water and food for the long desert nights and days ahead. So if that is the case, I'll just have to keep an eye on my character. I'm not sure if stamina is implemented, so don't quote me on that once again. But I might just, if I can get some katanas together, I'll probably end up purchasing those and possibly a backpack as well, just to bring them along for the ride just in case. So yeah, I'm going to speed the game up once again. There's some more guys in the distance there. Pause the game. I know, well, I'm actually getting a little further to civilization now, so apologies for the repetitiveness of this video up to now. Hopefully my commentary's satisfactory. Speedy uppy time once again. Gonna try and go in the same direction. But yeah, I'm just going to continue in this direction. So we've got another group of hostiles here. Now I'm envisaging at the moment that this Let's Play series is going to have a substantial number of episodes, possibly 20 or 30 at the moment I'm looking at maybe. Considering that we've had almost an hour of footage now and I've pretty much not even left the initial starting town. So as you can see, you can probably guess why this game is taking up so much of my time now. Extremely slow burning game, but that's the thing, this game drip feeds you some strategy, drip feeds you tension and character progression in quite a nice way. So even if not much specifically is happening, as I'm sure you can see, it's still quite an addictive, enthralling game. Right, so that's now diverted attention again. We're pretty much in exactly the same scenario as before, which is what I wanted to avoid and haven't. Although these guys seem a little slower now, so yeah, everything all seems to be well. Still going in a pretty dodgy direction actually, if I'm honest with you. I'm not sure how long I'm going to continue this video for tonight actually. Hello there, I decided it would be a bit of a wise move for me there just to skip a little bit of that out. Mainly because not a lot was happening. But I'm pretty much almost on my way. Now I'm pretty much almost at the I am pretty much almost at the settlement now. Game seems to have crashed. No, it hasn't, sorry, my bad, just had it paused there. So yeah, I'm going to try and make my way towards the settlement. That's assuming that the game actually stretches that far. It probably does, it might just be me. But that's quite a nice blue sunset actually. It's probably actually due to the alpha state of the game's graphics at the moment, but to be honest, I'm kind of liking this this aesthetic. Kind of nice, clean cut, simple effect, making it look more akin to a kind of almost flash game at the moment, to be frank. So okay, pause map once again. Yeah, almost on the way down to Clown's Ready by the looks of it for this place name. Don't quote me on that. I think that's probably me just being a little elastic with the truth there. Probably a different place name, probably a bit more fitting with the in-game world. I'm going to zoom out a little bit. Different perspective. And yeah, there's a settlement here, so here we are. So I've pretty much finally got out of the lands of the desert. And this video has finally got out of the doldrums of utter sheer boredom. I'm just running around and talking about nothing. So here we are back to the game. I'm thinking about possibly editing some of that out. I'm going to leave it in for now just because I'm not sure how interesting the commentary was. I was rambling for all of that. I was pretty much more concentrated on keeping my character alive rather than providing an entertaining video. So please bear with me in that regard. But here we go. We're back on track now. The Let's Play is in full swing. And Fagnarrakk's sprint is in full swing as well. Fagnaragk is running his heart out. And I don't know if you've noticed, but from several sides here it looks like there's quite a few different groups of hostiles as well. Or possibly, well, mainly just NPCs really, probably not hostiles. Those ones that seem hostile over there, the ones following me clearly are, and those ones aren't as well. So looks like I'm in quite a good situation here. I'm hoping if all is well, I can get a few of these groups to collide with each other, have a little bit of a mini skirmish, and I can then loot the characters' bodies for fallout and remains, and get some epic loot, get a bit more money, and then we can get even further into some more interesting scenarios for this Let's Play. But for now, I'm going to just make my way towards the town guards, as I mentioned before. I'm going to use them to my advantage, help them get this quite annoying people off my back. And as you can see there, yes, they're running towards my aid. Going to zoom in for the epic camness. Sorry, I just like to make words up as I'm playing. Okay, there we go. So they're following me, and I'm going to join in the battle just because I'm an absolute badass who was not in any way, shape or form regenerate his character due to incompetence and sand inhalation. Okay, so we've got a couple of bandits after me. It looks like they've got a fairly good loot actually. They've got some decent, well, at least one decent helmet. So I'm having that, I'm Bagsying that. These guys with the helmets on, tricorns rather, all seem to be guards, much like me in fact. So maybe that's part of my character's backstory, perhaps. Maybe I used to be a guard as well, but I've got a bit rusty, a bit old, maybe not so good at defending myself. I'm gonna attack here because I'm gonna see if I can upgrade my character's skills a little bit. I haven't really gone into detail with skills and stuff at the moment, at this point in the game, because like I mentioned before, a lot of the skills aren't fully implemented in the game yet, so I'm still not sure exactly how much that could be achieved, but I'll probably go into that at some point. Maybe in the next video we'll go through that and I'll explain some of what I do know and how my characters are at the moment. But for now I'm going to, that was the screen there, that was actually the skill screen, but no, we're not going to look at that just yet. For now I'm going to attack this guy and we'll see what happens. Don't steal anything, well I'm not likely to. My character's actually just sitting there doing nothing, so I'm going to double click him, right click on this enemy and we can attack. Now if you notice, I have a feeling, this is probably just an inkling at the moment, yeah there's a nice death there, but what I was getting at there was the group mechanics in the combat. I don't know if you noticed, obviously there's a substantial amount of people here, but my character is kind of staying away from the pack, so I think I'm trying to figure out how advanced the AI is actually. I believe that since I had AI helpers helping me who are actually more powerful than me, this is pure speculation, but I'm assuming that my character's AI was smart enough to realise that there wasn't any direct need for him to get too involved in the combat there. In this game, as you can probably tell, you don't have a direct control of every individual event within combat. It's mainly sort of a click, fire and forget sort of system, although you can issue movement commands, attack commands, use items and that kind of thing using the pause menu. So it gives the game a little more predictability, and I think the idea of not having full control of the battles makes it quite nice in that it just makes it a little more unpredictable, a little more realistic. So yeah, I've managed to loot a tin can helmet from this dust bandit, so I'm now going to equip it straight onto my character to avoid any mess ups from before. All the guards are making their way back to base, probably having some loot of their own. And I've got a heart protector body armour here as well, light armour class, 0.22 blunt resistance, 0.38 cut resistance, so although it's not amazing, that's certainly better than nothing. Only covers my chest. A little bit of description here. This armour is nice and light without hampering mobility. It does just the bare essentials, it protects your heart. So, oh, isn't that nice? So yeah, my character model updates in real time. Nice little addition there. I say addition, obviously that's standard as most games these days, but this is alpha, and for an alpha to have this sort of functionality is pretty awesome in my book. So there we go. I'm slightly more well equipped to deal with the trials and tribulations that lie ahead. And just for your own look there, it's a nice bit of scenery there for my character. Nice little corpse in the background wearing my little tin can and my Fallout-esque heart protector. I'm going to do a little more looting now actually. In fact no I'm not, because I don't really have the space, although there are some wooden sandals there, so I'm having them. Horse chopper. The wooden sandals give me a 0.1 athletics advantage, so hopefully I can run slightly faster. And that seems to be true actually, because the description states so they take a bit of getting used to, but actually really good for running in sand, so with us being based in the desert that can only be a good thing. Weapons wise, let's have a look here. I've got a horse chopper with 0.8 cutting damage. This one features 0.54. One cool aspect of the weapons in this game is that there's quite a lot of different variables, especially beyond just simple weapons and armour bonuses. There's also weight, value, and the way value works in this game. The weapons and all items in the game, in fact, have a set base Catan value, but the actual trade value, the actual money that you will earn from those, is determined by a myriad of factors, not least of which the supply and demand of each trader in question. So you may not necessarily earn as much money as you think for an item, or you may earn more. But I'll go into that a little more in detail when I know a little more about it, and this character gets a little more into trading. So the model, if you see there on the screen, model hashtag rusting blade. Pretty much what this means is each weapon in the game is usually created by a different manufacturer, so each of the factions manufacture their own equipment. So if you have decent armour, decent weapons, then from the maker's marks embedded on each weapon's description, you can actually determine where they came from, which is a nice little touch. But unfortunately this weapon is so rusted that no manufacturer can actually be identified on this weapon. So usually that signifies the weapon's pretty much beyond repair and not really that good. So I'll probably make a journey out into here since I'm so close to the town, just to pick that up and give myself a little more cash later on. But for now my inventory is pretty full, so I'm going to enter the town, buy a backpack, and we're going to make a little more progress. Alright, so I think we're pretty much set for now. Just as we're coming to this interesting point, I think this is going to be a good point to end this video for now. So thank you guys once again for putting up with all the extremely boring desert footage. Part 3 will be coming fairly soon. I'm going to focus first thing on getting these first two parts uploaded onto YouTube and making sure they're actually interesting and possibly doing some editing where necessary. But yeah, like I say, subscribe if you like what you've seen so far. Give me some comments, give me some feedback, give me some constructive criticism and some encouragement as well, because you know I love doing this for you, but it's always nice to have a bit more information. So yeah, this has been part 2 of DemonicBishop's playthrough of Kenshi, the Let's Play. I'll be back very shortly. Hope you've enjoyed watching. Thank you, have a great day, and I will see you soon. Cheers guys! Just going to quickly save my game as well actually.